It is time. Come on in. Hope you pour your wine or whatever your beverage of choice might
Whatever.
be.
We'll get to that in just a moment.
Yes.
Can we just dive right into something that is close to your heart?
Yes, we absolutely can, Lynda.
We're talking about the Kitsilano Pool.
Yes, we are. I love
Jody's
this.
favorite place on earth.
This is my church. This is my favorite place on earth. I want Kit's Pool open. I want it open to everybody. I want my season's pass back. I've only been twice in the past 3 years on my birthday, but I have to be very careful about my attire, apparently.
Yeah, so don't be wearing something really, inappropriate, Jody.
Oh, yeah, I'm known for the inappropriate bathing suit,
Right?
Linda.
Because the park board is actually trying to come up with some rules. So it makes me wonder, what are people currently wearing that is forcing them to come up with rules? It is one of the most beautiful places.
Okay, so it's not fully chlorinated. It's saline and chlorine, so it's really gentle on the skin. And looking up at those mountains as you're swimming along, the laps, the fun with the kids, the cool lifeguards. The city's actually putting out a note right now saying if you'd like to be a lifeguard, 'cause that's been a problem here in the city of Vancouver, not elsewhere for some odd reason, but
the other problem is that people are apparently swimming in jeans, in gowns, in inappropriate things. They also have a policy now, if you are incontinent, you must wear a swim diaper.
These are things that we should not need to tell people.
Because when I was a kid and used to go to the public swimming pool, nobody had to tell me what was an appropriate swimsuit for me to wear or for anyone else. But however, that is something that's coming to Kit's Pool.
Kit's Pool and pools run by the park board. Just be mindful of what you're wearing to the pool this summer.
Check the rules.
You're already having the delightful rosé from last week.
Having a little rosé from last week, but Cascadia's pour of the week this week, and Jody is very happy because it's White Claw again. Our White Claw friends, and this is a pineapple vodka, which I had just a little snicker of, and I must say it's quite nice.
It really is. It kind of has like that Hawaiian sort of vibe, because you mentioned pineapple, so tropical. But it also allows you to sort of control how much you want or really want.
Thank you so much to our
today.
show sponsor, Cascadia Liquor, because they are locally owned and operated, and we like to support that here. And they also carry premium products and a whole ton of selections. So
they really do.
check
Okay,
it out.
let's talk about what's coming up on the show. We've got a lot going on today, and I know that it's been a really difficult time for everybody in the community. The public at large, people who use transit, but parents and people who would look at a story where a 17-year-old young man loses his life while riding a bus. Whatever the circumstances around it, it hit us all like, ugh. Here.
Well, the good news is this 17-year-old's life who has been lost, there has been someone who's been arrested, a 20-year-old. There was a connection between these two. We don't really know what the connection was or what the motive for the stabbing was, but it has raised a lot of concerns about safety on transit.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going right to the guy who can tell us all about it, which is Transit Chief Dave Jones.
Yes.
He will be on the show coming up, so stay tuned. We'll find out. And they actually are meeting with the premiers tomorrow to discuss what they can do to make us all feel more safe.
Make sure it is transit safe will be the top question we ask for sure. What about the strike? This is the biggest strike in a generation almost in Canada. 155,000 people on the picket line right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways that you might feel this.
Yeah.
You might feel it if you're waiting for a passport. There might be some travel delays. If you're waiting for employment insurance, or maybe you're going to get a refund from
your taxes that are due in like 5 minutes.
Might be a little bit delayed.
Yeah, it's going to be. We'll get into that. Rob Shaw's going to join us because we're talking about Twitter and the media. Elon Musk coming at big media companies, calling anybody who takes government money of any kind state-owned.
Lost my check mark today.
Oh yeah, and you were cloned. You had your
immediately impersonated on Twitter, but to their credit, they, as soon as they were aware, suspended that account. We're talking about that.
We're going to get into the debate. Almost 80 million people have weighed in on the popcorn on the floor underneath the 2- and 5-year-old with the pregnant mother who happens to be married.
Because of our banner. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Okay, so this is a Toronto Blue Jays
pitcher, Anthony
child.
Bass. Yeah.
His pregnant wife was asked by the flight attendant before she left, get out and down on your hands and knees and pick up the popcorn.
Said the captain wants you to clean up.
And
United
she
Airlines
told her husband, he was mad. He tweeted, how dare United Airlines make my pregnant wife get on the floor. And she
Don't give your opinion yet. Don't give it yet, because we're going to do it, both of us.
I have an opinion.
I also. Shockingly.
Yeah.
We both have opinions. And we don't know what each other's opinions are, but so stay tuned for that. But first,
hot headlines. it is not a surprise, unfortunately, but I think we're all getting numb to the fact that when they put out the overdose death numbers, that you're like, what?
Helpless.
Almost
That's what I feel.
600 people in the first 3 months of this year have died. They're saying it's now getting close to 7 people a day dying. And since the beginning of this pandemic, 11,000 people in BC have died. And we still don't really have a solution.
I don't even know what to say. I feel numb because we do this because it's our job to share the facts, the stats that are released, the awful statistic that sees 7 people
a day.
Brothers, sisters, husbands, children.
Mostly men.
Mostly men, but also mostly not on the streets of Vancouver, but in apartments and in like people who are using alone. And that's the one thing that we can do here is if you are struggling with addiction, please don't use alone. That peeling back that stigma is such a key here. It is just, and then we just go right into the fact that it's 420 and there are a bunch of people at the end of the street here having a huge unsanctioned protest
in the rain.
Party.
Yeah, so that'll just muck up the sod again. But if you don't want to go to 420, you can just call up Uber Eats in Victoria and Metro Vancouver, and they will deliver cannabis to your door.
I mean, they deliver our liquor. If we call Uber Eats, we can get Cascadia liquor, and then liquor is as free as cannabis is as free as, I guess.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole new era.
I'd rather everybody not drive around.
Here's another one that's in your hood, and it has to do with social housing, because we know that wherever you live in BC, there are issues with homelessness and people who are financially insecure or underhoused or just not housed and living on the street. And so there has been a very controversial project in Kitsilano. It's an Arbutus housing project that would provide 129 homes for people who could maybe move off the downtown east side, but the residents there fighting that, pushing back.
Yeah.
So government's saying, okay, we're not going to allow this anymore. We need the housing.
We're building
They changed the legislation to preempt the Kitsilano residents from going to court.
What really bothers me in this is there's no middle ground. Like it was either this way or nothing. And that there was like a standoff. It was all about the fighting instead of actually talking about what's best for the people that need it the most. We do need housing. And it was 3 decades ago that we stopped building the housing that Kitsilano was built on. There used to be, peppered through the community, these supportive housing spaces. And yes, some of them are towers and some of them you just wouldn't notice because everybody's part of the community. And it just became such a flashpoint. The fact that the Broadway subway line is going to end at that corner, that would speak to why it should have a larger building, a larger footprint. I'm neither NIMBY or YIMBY on this. I just want people housed.
I do too, but I would be upset and worried if it was right across the street from mine. And so you can say, oh, shut up. But if it was going to bring your property values down or maybe put your kids at risk, you would be worried. So I think they have a right to raise concerns.
I think concerns are absolutely important, and having your say is important, but there needs to be middle ground to it. Indeed. And in following this story, I did not find a lot of middle ground. Period.
How about this? Province is also moving on something, and I applaud them for this. You've heard about this weight loss drug. It's really supposed to be for people with type 2 diabetes. Ozempic is hot. Influencers, Americans, Canadians, everybody wants it. And so the BC government is going like, well, what's going on? Suddenly there were tens of thousands of prescriptions being written by an American doctor.
And sent,
Americans
mailed.
Getting it here, which was shorting the drug for people who
I'm so glad they limited this.
So the BC government says now, if you're not a permanent resident or a Canadian, you have to buy it in person at the drugstore. You can't do it online.
I will do the caveat on this one though, Lynda, because it's not about not having enough for people who are diabetic. It's also used for weight loss here in Canada.
Well,
and that is also a huge issue. People that are struggling with their perhaps obesity, that is a major health problem. But having access to this drug in Canada versus, having it just transport out of here because somebody's making an extra buck on it. I like this move by the government.
Let's skip over to quickly telling Galen Weston, who is the guy who was the face of, what was it, Loblaws? Loblaw? Anyway, he's out. He's still the chairman, but he's not the president, even though he just got a massive, massive raise. And there is a connection to the CRA and a scammer on groceries.
Okay, this is really important. So you're getting a credit on your groceries. That was announced. But then the scam alert is in. The grocery rebate scam comes by email or text message. They will not email you. The CRA is not going to email you
They never
or text
do.
you. Not ever one time. Don't click the link.
Don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it.
Here's another thing. Very quickly, we're going to be talking about the CBC, super mad at Elon Musk and Twitter
we are talking
for
about
them relabeling their account as being government funded, like as though they're told what to do. We'll talk about that. Also, Fox paying the price.
We got it.
For lying.
We got to talk about this real
about
quick.
Dominion voting machines.
$787.5 million in the settlement. The one thing that bothers me about this one, Lynda, is that they don't have to say anything publicly on their network.
Yeah, but they're not done yet because
I know,
Smartmatic and other companies going to go at them. A lot of people are still going to be paying out some big money to
Tucker
Dominion.
Carlson wants to just take over Canada.
This is a documentary he's got coming out.
For more than 100 years, the United States has, as a matter of official policy, opposed dictatorships around the world.
We like to say people kind.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, this is dangerous. This is dumb and dangerous. Like, we should not.
I like that, dumb and dangerous.
It's dumb and dangerous. I don't like the fact that this is the sparkly thing that Fox and in particular Carlson has decided to like put out there to change the script, flip the script on us. No.
We're about your own country because you have enough problems of your own. Still here on Steele and Fancy, if you're waiting for a passport, an EI check, any number of things, you could be waiting a long time because one of the biggest strikes in Canadian history is underway.